Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and help solve problems. Take action with us. The Bethany Rotary Club strives to make a difference in our community. Our projects help improve life to those both close to home and around the world. Come serve with us. Find out more at Rotary.org.
Green Hills Insurance, LLC of Bethany is a locally owned and operated independent insurance agency providing coverage since 1996. They're licensed to operate in Missouri, Iowa, and Kansas, offering competitive rates with top carriers. They can insure a wide variety of risks, including home, farm, auto, boats, RVs, equipment, business owners, commercial buildings, bonds, and more. Located on the south side of the square in Bethany, stop by or give them a call at 660-425-7900. At Green Hills Insurance, if you need it insured, they've got you covered.
All right, this is CF Radio again with Bulldog Sports TV. Sports Central interview, South Harrison Varsity Football Coach Chris Schoning, brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital. And so, Coach, you get your first game of the postseason in district play versus a Lathrop team coming out of the KCI conference. We talked about it last week. A team coming out of a really good conference, not sure exactly what you're going to get, multiple sets and everything. And you guys come out able to establish the run early and kind of run away with it 41-0 for the final.
Yeah, no, I thought the boys did a really good job. We knew we needed to, just pick up our game, take it to another level, and I thought the boys really did a good job of doing that in all aspects of the game. Not just offense, but defense played lights out. We had multiple guys making big plays for us. Cray and Case did great at linebacker. Our DBs made huge plays when they tried to go deep on us. Our D-line played just ferocious up there. We had multiple guys rotating in. We got Carson Nibel back. He was able to make a lot of good plays. Ruger Johnson, Joel McCall, all of them. Ethan Smith, Nick Mars, Gage Barclay. Really, I thought it was a very, very good, complete 11-man, game, in every aspect. I thought our special teams did what they needed to do. So all around, I thought we did take that next step that we needed to take. And now we got to take that same step, if not a bigger step this week.
Yeah, and so it becomes, you mentioned, a complete game. You've obviously had a lot of big wins. It's your first shutout of the season defensively, and I'm sure there were other games you went into the second half with a shutout and gave up just one score in some of those games. But you mentioned it, all three phases of the game. There's been times throughout the season, maybe in one area you struggled a little bit. Special teams, you guys did great in that. And I think that's it. Playing your best ball this time of the season is huge here in November.
Absolutely. And I told the boys that, before we played Lathrop, just coming into districts, I said, guys, we've had a great season. Absolutely have had a really good season. You guys won a lot of games, did a lot of good things. I said, but the great teams start to play their best ball in November. And I think it was the day before November. I said, let's make it to November. Let's start a little early. And the boys did that. I thought, I was watching film and I found a few things to work on, here and there. But I thought overall it was a very, very clean game. I thought the line did a great job of communicating up front. They're throwing some different stuff at us up front. They'd go 5 down, 6 down, brought some blitzes every once in a while. So I thought the line did a fantastic job of communicating, getting on their blocks, and just knowing their assignments. So, we just need to, like I said, we need to take another step this week. We're coming up against a very good Cameron team, and we just need to play really, really well, just like we did last week. Take care of the ball and just keep doing the little things right.
And so that's one of those. You mentioned Cameron's your next opponent. They defeated Trenton 66-13. And the thing about Cameron, if you're just a casual fan, you just get on Michigan, you look at their record, they're 6-4. You're like, they're not a very good team.
Yeah.
Trenton, I think, Coach, is the first 2A team they've played this year. They've been punching above their class all season with 3A, 4A, even I think maybe a 5A team mixed in there. And
Yep.
so their record really doesn't show what kind of team they are. Looking at
No.
film, what are you guys looking at this week as far as what Cameron wants to do offensively?
Yeah, they want to. They're really good at running the option. Um, they got the guys to do it. They got the line to do it. And they're very good at it. They got two quarterbacks that they kind of rotate in there. They're both very, very dangerous. They got a fullback that is a load, very hard runner, and their line does a great job. They get off the ball very fast. They play very physical. So that's the one thing we're going to have to match. We're going to have to match the intensity, um, and just get off the ball and play very, very physical against these guys.
And so you look at that when you play an option team, and you even see it on the college level back with Navy, Army, Georgia
Oh yeah,
Tech. You'd have really good teams playing them. You have to be assignment sound in that option.
absolutely.
And you guys did it back a few years ago with Austin last year.
Yep,
If a team
yep.
misses their assignment, you've got dangerous guys, and it's just one guy missing an assignment can give up a big play.
Yeah, that's the thing about the option. And teams would do that a lot to us when we ran it with Lasher and those guys. They'd be able to stop it, for the first, second quarter, but then all of a sudden, bam, one big play, and then things just start rolling for you. So, and you can see that Cameron does that. People will stop to dive, they'll stop Bell, they'll get him stopped a couple times, but then just all of a sudden, boom, they pop a big play. So, we just got to do the best that we can, trying to limit those, and just like you said, we've got to take care of our job. The guys got to know what their job is, because they'll give different looks, and that'll kind of change what we do, just depending on what they do. So communication is going to be key. It's going to be key every single play. Just knowing what our responsibility is, what we're doing, and just like I said, we also got to play very, very aggressive, and we got to play fast. So that's another thing. Like you start playing option teams, now you get them thinking a little bit, and you play a little slower. So we got to do a great job preparing this week, and just make it a habit for these guys, so that way they're playing fast and aggressive.
And so you flip it onto the other side. Obviously, the meat and potatoes of South Harrison offensively is running the ball. You've got two really good backs. You add some wings that can run, and both those wings had some nice runs the other night,
Yeah.
both with
Yep.
Eckerson and Hoover. How do you feel your running game matches up against their defense?
I think we match up pretty good with them. I think it's two teams that really, really like to run the ball. Very similar in like kind of like the athletes that we have. They got the Bell kid. They got the number 23. I can't remember what his name is right now, but he's a good back for them. And they're kind of similar to Crane Mason. And then their line is very similar to ours. They got some big guys that can control line of scrimmage. They got also guys that can get off the ball quick, a little smaller, but very, very aggressive. And so, I think we're very, very similar. And it's going to come down to, the turnovers, the penalties, who can, keep grinding. I think it's going to be a battle in the trenches all night long. So, we just got to be ready. They've been, like you said, they've been playing these bigger schools all year long. They are used to this. They're used to seeing these big lines and these bigger kids. So, we got to be ready for the fight right away. We can't let them get off to a hot start, because they kind of like to do what we like to do. They once they get a lead, they can really control that clock. So we got to keep it really close. We got to come ready to go, and just be ready for a four-quarter ball game. It is definitely that's what it's going to take.
And so you're going on the road. You're going to have to play Cameron. They have a turf field. Does that make any difference in how you guys approach things? Obviously, the game's maybe a little faster, uh,
Yeah,
just compared to like a longer grass field. But does that change anything as far as your approach?
no, not really. We used to play at West Platte, on their turf field a lot. Putnam County obviously has a turf field, so we've never really changed anything because of that. Football's still football. There's still 22 guys out there, so um, really for us, it's just the little things, especially at this point in the year here. Just knowing your assignment, doing your job, getting off the ball fast, playing aggressive, tackling well. It really, that's what it comes down to. We know what they like to do. They're going to know what we like to do. So it really just comes down to who can get the job done, who's going to win that one-on-one battle.
And Coach, you mentioned I'll close with this question. Defensively, from the start of the year, and obviously I've had the opportunity. We've live streamed every single one of your games. Went back and watched film. Defensively, how your defense is really shored up, especially in that back end. You guys knocked down a number of passes, had opportunity to intercept a number of passes on
Right.
tip balls. But just that ability, because you're playing a team that obviously likes to run the ball like you do, but offensively what you want to do is teams start to creep up. You want to try to
Oh,
hit that
absolutely.
pass over the top.
Yeah.
How has that made it easier maybe for you guys to coach with those guys on the back end, those defensive backs really playing a whole lot better here at the end of the season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they really showed up Friday night for us. That was huge because, early in the game they try to go deep, and Taggart just plays about as perfect defense as you can. And that's huge for us. We can trust that those guys are going to do their job. We're not having to worry about, okay, do we need to try to drop someone else back, or get one of our linebackers out of the box, different things like that. So them stepping up, and we've been kind of young. Trevor Henry's been back there a little bit, so we knew there was going to be some growing pains there with him. But he has come. He had a chance for an interception too on Brian Knight, and he's been playing really, really well. And we got Case Morgan at linebacker, another sophomore that ended up getting honorable mention all conference. So that was definitely huge for us, him stepping into that role too. So just proud of all the work these guys have put in. I think Trevor and the DBs and are just they're feeling a lot more comfortable. I think they just know what they're doing now. We're trying to keep everything about as the same as we can for those guys, so that way they're not having to think, they're just playing. And you kind of could see that Friday night. I felt like they were just out there playing. They're playing football. They're playing fast, and they're able to make them plays in.
Well, that's great, and Coach, we appreciate your time as always. Man, we're believing, and I did this with Coach Aaron Fitz that we'll just keep these interviews going and keep the season going.
Yeah,
And hope next
absolutely.
week we're talking about the possible matchup on the other side of a district championship. You guys are in one of the toughest districts in the state in 2A, top to bottom. And
Yeah, yeah, it's
so,
loaded.
so that right, nothing gets easier from here, and that's kind of
No,
everyone as you step through districts. Usually those lower seeds start to get weeded out a little bit, and it's those top four
right.
teams moving on, and that's what you guys have in your district. So good luck this Friday. Big thanks again to Harrison County Community Hospital for sponsoring our interviews here on Sports Central, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Awesome. Appreciate it, CF. Thank you.